We've all been told since childhood that a glass of milk is good for us, that it's a simple, wholesome way to build strength and keep our bones healthy. It's a belief that's so deeply woven into the fabric of our lives that we hardly question it. Yet as the years go by, something subtle begins to shift. The same milk that once felt nourishing can start to feel different. Maybe it sits heavy in your stomach, or perhaps it seems to slow you down, leaving you more tired than refreshed. You might chalk it up to aging or just the way life is now. But what if that familiar carton in your fridge is quietly working against you, nudging your body toward inflammation, sluggishness, or discomfort? I want you to pause for a moment and consider this, not as a critique of your habits, but as a gentle invitation to rethink something simple that could be holding you back. Our bodies change, and the things that once served us well can sometimes become obstacles to our vitality. This isn't about blame, it's about understanding, and more importantly, about finding small, manageable ways to reclaim your energy and well-being. Let me tell you about Frank. Frank is a man much like many of you, a retired schoolteacher in his late 60s, a quiet man with a gentle smile who came to see me with a story all too common. For months, Frank had been feeling off. He was tired, more than usual, and found himself bloated after meals, his joints a little stiffer each morning. Nothing drastic, just a creeping sense that his body wasn't quite keeping up with his spirit. He told me about his routine, a bowl of cereal with milk every morning, a habit he'd held onto for decades. When I asked about it, he mentioned he never really thought much about the type of milk, just whatever was on sale or what he'd always bought. It was a small detail, but as we dug a little deeper, it became clear that this simple part of his day might be more significant than he imagined. By simply switching to a different kind of milk, over a few weeks, Frank noticed a change. His digestion improved, his energy felt steadier, and the stiffness began to ease. Frank's story is more than just a case of changing a daily habit. It's a window into what happens inside many of us as the years unfold quietly. When Frank first came to see me, he wasn't asking for a quick fix or dramatic cure. He wanted understanding. He wanted to know why his body, which had served him faithfully for decades, suddenly felt like a stranger, heavy, uncomfortable, and sometimes even uncooperative. His mornings, once filled with ease, were now often marked by stiffness and a sluggishness that lingered far longer than it should. What Frank didn't realize then, and what so many others don't either, is that our bodies carry stories not only in our minds and hearts, but in the smallest biological details. The milk he'd consumed every day was one chapter of that story. Not because milk is bad, but because as we age, the way our bodies interact with certain foods can shift profoundly. You see, the digestive system undergoes gradual changes that can alter everything from enzyme production to gut flora balance. For instance, lactase, the enzyme responsible for breaking down lactose, the sugar in milk, often declines with age. This means that even milk that once felt smooth and nourishing can begin to ferment in the gut, leading to bloating, gas, and discomfort. Frank's tiredness wasn't just from lifestyle stress or lack of sleep. It was tied to subtle digestive irritation that robbed him of steady energy. But the story goes deeper. The proteins in conventional cow's milk, particularly a variant known as A1 casein, can trigger low-level inflammation in susceptible individuals. Unlike the A2 casein found in some traditional or specially sourced milks, A1 casein breaks down during digestion to release compounds that some studies suggest may aggravate the immune system. Inflammation is a silent but powerful force. It doesn't always announce itself with pain or redness. Instead, it can slowly disrupt circulation, impair joint health, and cloud mental clarity. For Frank, this invisible inflammation meant mornings where getting out of bed felt harder than it should. What's important to understand is that this inflammation doesn't just affect the body in isolation, it reaches into the very essence of who we are. It can dampen motivation, chip away at self-confidence, and feed the fear that our best days are slipping away. Frank told me once, I felt like I was losing myself, not just physically, but in how I showed up for my family, for my friends. That feeling of disconnect from your own vitality is one of the heaviest burdens aging can impose. Yet, within this challenge lies opportunity. When Frank switched to an A2 milk and incorporated plant-based alternatives like homemade almond milk and flax milk, he wasn't just changing what he drank, he was reclaiming a part of himself that had been dimmed. His digestive symptoms eased, his joints loosened, and the fog in his mind began to lift. But perhaps most profoundly, he felt seen and supported, not judged or rushed. That made all the difference. Biologically, this shift taps into a remarkable principle: the body's capacity to heal when given the right environment. Reducing dietary triggers of inflammation and supporting gut health allows the natural flow of blood and nutrients to reach every tissue. Circulation improves, the brain receives clearer signals, and energy production ramps up. It's like clearing a path through a forest that had become tangled and overgrown. This is not just theory, it's a lived experience for countless men and women navigating the complexities of aging. The changes we talk about with milk are microcosms of a larger dance between our choices and our biology. And while it can sometimes feel overwhelming, the truth is that meaningful change often begins with the small and the simple. For many, it's tempting to chase quick fixes, supplements, pills, or drastic diets that promise overnight transformation. But Frank's story reminds us that real, lasting vitality emerges from patience and respect for the body's natural rhythms. It's about listening deeply, making informed choices, and honoring the wisdom stored in decades of lived experience. So, when you consider your own morning routine, your own glass of milk, I invite you to ask, what story am I telling my body? Is it one of nourishment and care, or one of neglect and fatigue? And if the answer leans toward the latter, know that it's never too late to rewrite that story with kindness, knowledge, and intention. Frank's story isn't unique. Many of us have habits tied to comfort and routine, but the truth is, our bodies don't always respond the same way to those habits as we grow older. What sustained us in our youth might now be gently asking us for something different, something that better respects the changing rhythms inside us. So, what is really going on beneath the surface? Why would something as simple as milk have such a big impact on the way we feel day to day? The answer lies in understanding how our bodies process what we consume, especially as we age. You see, milk isn't just milk. There are different kinds of milk, each with their own properties and effects, and not all of them are created equal when it comes to supporting an aging body. Think of your body as a flowing river. When the water is clear and the current steady, life thrives along its banks, but when debris starts to clog the flow, whether it's excess inflammation, hormonal imbalances, or digestive irritation, that river slows, and everything downstream feels the impact. The kinds of milk we drink can either help keep that river clear and flowing, or add to the unseen blockages that wear us down over time. Many conventional dairy milks contain a type of protein called A1 casein, which for some people can provoke inflammation and digestive discomfort. Our ability to digest lactose, the sugar naturally found in milk, also tends to diminish as we get older. This can leave us feeling bloated or sluggish. Beyond the proteins and sugars, conventional milks are often rich in omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess can promote inflammation throughout the body, potentially affecting circulation, joint health, and even cognitive clarity. It's not just cow's milk we need to be cautious about. Many plant-based milks, while often promoted as healthier, can carry hidden pitfalls. Almond milks, for example, sometimes come loaded with added sugars and synthetic ingredients that do little to nourish the body. Soy milks, especially the flavored varieties, may disrupt delicate hormonal balances, particularly in men and women navigating the complexities of aging. And then there are the condensed or evaporated milks, heavy, sugary, and dense, which can tax the metabolism and undermine energy. I'm not here to shame anyone's choices. We all do the best we can with the knowledge we have, and it's easy to be swayed by marketing or habit. But as someone who has walked alongside hundreds of men and women over 55, I can say with confidence that some milks are best left behind, while others offer quiet, steady support for our bodies as they evolve. So, let me share with you the 4 types of milks I believe seniors should avoid at all costs. Not because they are inherently evil, but because they often work against the very vitality you're striving to preserve. First, conventional cow's milk with a 1 casein, the kind you find in most grocery stores, can provoke chronic low-level inflammation that you might not even realize is there until it's slowing you down. Then there's sweetened almond milk, which often hides sugars and preservatives beneath a sweetened surface. Flavored soy milk comes next, carrying hormonal disruptors that can be particularly problematic as we age. Lastly, evaporated and condensed milks, rich in sugar and saturated fat, can burden your system rather than nourish it. But here's the hopeful part. This isn't about cutting things out and feeling deprived. It's about discovering better choices that honor your body's current needs, choices that bring strength, calm, and clarity to each day. There are milks that work in harmony with your body, ones that support healthy circulation, soothe digestion, and even brighten cognitive function. Unsweetened A2 milk, for instance, offers a gentler protein that many find easier to digest and less inflammatory. Homemade almond milk, free of additives and sugar, can be a nutrient-dense alternative that feels fresh and light. Oat milk, when chosen carefully for low sugar and proper fortification, supports heart health and gut balance. And flax milk, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, nourishes the brain and blood vessels alike. These milks don't just fill your glass, they become partners in your journey toward feeling better, moving easier, and waking up with a little more spring in your step. Like Frank, who began adding flax milk to his morning smoothie, these small changes can ripple outwards, shifting how your body feels, how your mind clears, and how your spirit lifts. Making these changes doesn't require a drastic overhaul. It's about gentle swaps, small steps that respect your pace and your preferences. Start by reading labels slowly and thoughtfully. Look for unsweetened options, minimal ingredients, and milks fortified with the nutrients that support aging bodies. Experiment with small batches, blending new milks into your favorite recipes, or simply trying a splash in your morning coffee. These little adjustments can feel like acts of kindness toward yourself, reminders that you're still in the driver's seat of your health. You don't have to do it all at once. Sometimes the most powerful changes are the ones that sneak in quietly, carried on a morning routine or a simple sip. And as your body responds, you might begin to notice something you thought was lost: a steadiness, a clarity, a feeling of connection to your own strength. I want you to hold on to that hope because it's real. Your body listens, even when you feel like it's turning against you. It's never too late to send a different message. And often, that message starts in the most familiar places, like the glass of milk you reach for each morning. As we consider these healthier milk choices, it's important to remember that change doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, one built on small, intentional steps rather than sweeping transformations. The idea is not to discard everything you know or love, but to gently introduce options that nourish you more deeply in a way that feels sustainable and true to your life. One way to begin is by becoming a mindful label reader. When you pick up a carton or a bottle, take a moment to look beyond the colorful packaging and bold claims. Ingredients matter, especially when it comes to milks marketed to seniors or those concerned with health. Seek out unsweetened varieties because added sugars can undo the benefits you're hoping to gain. Check for fortification with vitamins like D and B12, nutrients that become increasingly vital as our bodies age. And if you choose plant-based milks, look for those made with simple, whole ingredients rather than a long list of preservatives and stabilizers. If you're feeling hesitant to try new kinds of milk, that's perfectly natural. Change can be intimidating, even when it's for the better. My advice is to start small. Try a splash of flax milk in your morning coffee, or blend a handful of homemade almond milk into your favorite smoothie. Notice how your body responds. Does your digestion feel lighter? Is there a subtle shift in your energy? These quiet moments of awareness are where real transformation begins. I often tell my patients that health is less about perfection and more about curiosity. Curiosity invites you to experiment, to listen closely to your body, and to be patient with the process. It's about trusting yourself enough to say, "I'll try this and see how I feel," without pressure or judgment. Because you are the expert on your own body, and your experience matters most. Alongside these dietary shifts, it's important to cultivate habits that support circulation, vitality, and well-being more broadly. Gentle movement each day, whether a walk in the morning sun or a few stretches to loosen the joints, can help your body process nutrients better and keep blood flowing freely. Hydration is another cornerstone. Water works hand in hand with nourishing milks to flush toxins and refresh every cell. You might be surprised at how much difference a warm cup of milk-based drink before bed can make. I recommend trying a soothing blend of turmeric and flax milk, a simple recipe that calms inflammation, supports joint comfort, and gently prepares your body for rest. It's a ritual that signals to your body that you are cared for, that you are worthy of peace and healing. I want you to hold on to the idea that you're still the author of your health story. Many people believe that after a certain age, their best days are behind them. But I've seen the opposite. Men and women who, by paying attention to their bodies and making thoughtful choices, regain a vitality they thought was lost forever. The body is remarkably resilient, and it listens intently to the messages we send through food, movement, and care. In fact, those small choices around what you drink each day, the milk you add to your cereal or coffee, can echo far beyond the kitchen. They can influence how you move through your day, how connected you feel to your own strength, and even how you engage with loved ones. It's not about chasing youth or perfection. It's about honoring where you are now and nurturing the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. If Frank's story taught me anything, it's that hope is often found in the everyday moments. The simple act of changing the milk in his morning routine became a quiet victory, a way to reclaim energy, reduce discomfort, and build confidence that his body could still respond and heal. That same hope is here for you, waiting patiently in the small shifts you're willing to make. So, as you think about the milk in your fridge, I invite you to reflect on what it's doing for you, not just in the moment, but over time. Is it a partner in your health or a hidden burden? And if you feel ready, consider reaching for those alternatives that support your body's unique needs. It's an act of self-respect, a gentle rebellion against the idea that aging means giving up control. I'm not here to sell you a quick fix or a miracle cure. My hope is to offer you clarity amidst the noise, compassion amidst the frustration, and practical wisdom rooted in years of caring for people like you. Because you deserve to feel good, to move freely, and to greet each day with a sense of possibility. If you found this video helpful, please consider sharing it with someone you care about, a friend, a sibling, a neighbor who might also benefit from this simple knowledge. We all age, and we all deserve access to straightforward, trustworthy advice that respects our experiences and our hopes. And if you want to stay connected, to continue receiving honest, heart-centered insights that cut through the hype, please subscribe and join our community. Together, we can navigate these years with grace, strength, and kindness toward ourselves. Remember, every choice you make today is a thread in the fabric of your tomorrow. By choosing milks that nourish rather than hinder, by embracing small, meaningful changes, you are writing a new chapter, one where vitality and joy are not just memories, but present realities. Thank you for trusting me to walk this path with you. I'm Dr. Camila Cruz, and I'm honored to be part of your journey toward healthier aging.